Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel, The Xanadu Chronicles. My name is Frank and today I'm going to be working on a holiday project for my front entranceway courtyard area. Now it's only about a week away from the big day, so I gotta get this done and up so that we have at least a couple weeks worth of use out of it. Now if you've been watching my prior videos, you'll know that we're in Florida, and for me that means a couple things that I need to follow as a designer. This is my own personal philosophy, so I don't want anyone to feel insulted if this is not what you prescribe to, but for me, my decor, my interior decor, my exterior decor, the colors that I choose for my house, anything that I do in relationship to my home in terms of aesthetic purposes, I feel needs to fit within the setting that we're in, which is a very tropical, sunny, bright place. What I've gone and done is I have forged my own landscaping for a few items that to me really speak to the tropical aesthetic, and so I'm going to try to create something that I can hang out front and be very proud of. So let's get this party started. Now, like I said, I scavenged my own, or foraged, excuse me, and scavenged a little bit, my own yard. And one of my favorite plants that we have in our landscaping, because it just really fulfills every tropical aesthetic you can think of, is the Areca palm. Now I will show you a picture of that, and it's also going to be the picture on my thumbnail, so if you want to look at that a little bit more closely you can look at that. But I have cut some fronds off. Now if you've been watching my videos, you'll know in several of the walkthroughs that I've shown of my home, in my living room I have a perpetual display of Areca fronds in a vase on a column in the room, because again, it's beautiful, it's long lasting. I mean, you would not believe how long these fronds last when you cut them and put them in water. I mean, I've had some out for a month that look absolutely spectacular, look like I just cut them, and it's free, so you can't beat that. And so I use that all the time, so I'm going to continue with that and use that as one of the major features of my wreath. Secondly, this is also from the Areca palm. This is where the fronds would be attached to before they're either cut off or they fall off. This is what attaches to the trunk of the tree, so this is kind of like the skin, and it perpetually peels as it grows and more fronds are coming out from the center. These older ones fall off. So I gather some of these. I might use it, I might not, but I gather them because they add another textural element, and they're beautiful, and yeah, and very sculptural too. And then finally, the third item that I'm going to incorporate that is indicative of the tropical setting is, or are, peacock feathers. And believe it or not, we do actually have wild peacocks all over the place down here. Even white peacocks, which are quite stunning. But peacock feathers. Now I actually didn't buy these peacock feathers. Well, in a sense I did, because we did an estate haul several weeks back, and we bought a vase that this was in the vase. So we kind of got this for free because I was buying it for the vase, not for this. So basically, free foliage, free architectural foliage, free feathers, and from the dollar store I picked up a wreath form, a very simple, no-nonsense wreath form. I picked up a roll of gold ribbon with wire, and it's pretty transparent, so we'll see how this works, because I've kind of pre-laid out what I'm going to do, but I've also had some things I wanted to try out, and I didn't want to actually like unroll this and get it all crinkled up before I tried it out. But we'll try it out and see how it works, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, then you know what, we'll come up with something else on the fly. But got that, and then I had to go to the good old big box store for some floral wire, just in case I needed to anchor. But I'm hoping, because of the way this is portioned out with the structure, I might not even need to use the floral wire, but we'll see. And again, this is going to be going outside, so I probably will do this just for stability's sake anyways. So I intend to use or wrap half of this wreath in the ribbon, because I don't want it to be just a big wreath of fronds. I want it to be a little bit more asymmetric. I want it to have a little bit more flow and a little bit more of a natural movement to it. Not that it wouldn't be beautiful with the fronds making a wreath form, but that could get substantially big, and I don't think the space that I'm thinking of putting it on or hanging it on is going to accommodate that as nicely. So I wanted to keep the bottom part a little on the slim, sleek side, and the upper part will be the more graphic, more flowy, more full design. And if I do this well, it will look, you know, sculptural and still feel very holiday-esque. So enough chatting. Let's get to talking. Let's get to the project. All right, let's get started. Oh, before I start, my dog found this. I'm outside on my lanai, so my dogs are out here too, enjoying the weather. So excuse me if you can't hear me over the dog barking, but I wanted to point out, if you look at the wreath, little ones, always happens. There is a protruding part of it, a rounded part that goes forward, and then the flat side. I'm going to be working on the rounded side. So that, of course, when it hangs on the wall, it's flat and flush. And oh, actually, I don't know if you saw that, but when it hangs along the wall, it'll be flat and flush. Okay? So enough jibber jabbering. Let's get this party started. Now this is a wire ribbon. There's wire on both sides, so it's got some stiffness to it. And I'm hoping to use that to my advantage to not have to use tape or anything like that. So let's see how this works out. I want it to look good, obviously. And I'm just going to overlap it and make it random. I don't want there to be any real pattern to it, because I think the more free-flowing and it looks, the more just aesthetically pleasing in my mind's eye I think it will look, which allows me a lot of leeway in terms of what I'm doing. So I think I'm going to do I'll go the halfway first and cover it, and then go back so that it looks more random. Well, that answers that question. We won't be going back. Okay folks, so as you can see, I've finished that wraparound. I thought that this was going to be way longer or provide more coverage, but I have to say, even though it didn't go over a second layer, it worked out pretty darn nicely, and you know, it's not super, you know, precise, but it's also not super random either, which is originally what I wanted to do, but now that I'm looking at it, I think it looks fantastic as is, and I'm going to start working with the foliage. Now, like I said, this is from the Areca palm, and we've got several plants around the property, and so I purposely cut off or pruned some of the smaller leaves that were going towards the bottom, because you know they end up hitting the ground and turning brown anyways, and so I just did a nice pruning of my plants while I was collecting all of this, and I've got various sizes because I do want to have some bigger ones, more dramatic ones in this arrangement, but some of the smaller ones I'm going to work towards the front here. But the thing that I'm going to try to do is, instead of relying solely on the floral wire to kind of get these things anchored, I'm going to try to use the frame and weave to see what that does for me. And if I'm able to get something that looks good with as minimal wire as possible, then great. If not, then I have the wire to use. But I'm going to try weaving first and seeing what that gets me aesthetically. And then from there, I think I'm going to work on the other layers as well. But I'll try to stop after I do the fronds so you can see what that looks like. And then we'll continue onwards, okay? So, got my bucket of water here and I'm just going to start working. So, enjoy. And I purposely left some of these pretty long so that I could have maximum, you know, flexibility and usage out of it. But as you can see, I'm just weaving it through the structure. And I'm going to see where it takes me. That's the fun thing about design. You know, you can have a plan, yes, a plan is fantastic, and it's good to have a plan if you're doing something that's really, you know, that's multiples of something or very structured and needs to have a plan, but I like to try to do things organically when it comes to design. Now, I might end up tacking with some floral tape, wire, the branch to the top here so it doesn't continuously slide or move a lot. But once I figure out how I want to do this, I think I'll wait on doing that until I know for sure. I think I like the way that's looking already, so I am going to tack it in place so it doesn't move. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to work the main structural pieces in first, and then I'll fill in between it. But again, I'm trying to use the wire to weave and secure these in with as little of the, I'm trying to use a frame, excuse me, so I can use as little of the wire as possible because I just don't like having to deal with the floral wire. Okay, I'm going to stop the video because I just realized that it's going to be easier for me to work on the floor with this versus holding it and trying to adjust it because things are shifting too much. So I'm going to, or actually flat on the table. So let me get some things repositioned and then we'll get back to this. Okay, I'm back and I'm going to be working on the tabletop here so you can see everything, and then from there hopefully we'll get things done a lot faster. All right, here we go. Okay, so I got one more frond that I'm going to put in the back here, then I'm going to continue with the other pieces and see where we go with that, but I'm getting really close. I need to make sure that this bottom part here, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to hang it like this or if I'm going to hang it like this. I was planning on doing it this way, like that, because I like the look of it, but we'll see once I get it out there and what position I like, because it will work either way. It will work like that as well, which is quite beautiful. So let me continue on. So as you've seen on the harder piece, now that I've got my base set here, I'm going to try to put these at the bottom here to kind of hide this wiring, but I need to make a couple holes because this is pretty firm. I mean, this is pretty sturdy. A couple holes that I can put the wire in with minimal showing of the wire so that it looks finished when it's done. Thread that through. See? Very simple. Position it where I want it to be. Make sure I get it through the wire frame. And then wire it in place. So I'm using the holes of the ones prior to help anchor the new ones on. So that's what I was trying to do there, is line up. so that I can use this as my anchoring piece. It'll be a little bit more difficult to get it through the second layer, but I'll get it. There we go. Not bad. What do you think? Right? It's looking pretty good, yeah? And I even like the fact that the stems are still coming through, so it looks like it just kind of all, gathered together. And you can't see the wiring in the back, so leave it. Make it look as natural as possible, you know what I mean? And I'm contemplating whether or not I even want to use any of these. Let me see what it looks like if I ease one in. Let's see. See if it adds anything to it. If it doesn't add anything to the composition, then it doesn't stay. It's not staying. It's got to add something intrinsically interesting. Nope. I can tell already. It makes no sense to add something just to add it. So, peacock feathers, saved for another use. And my wreath is all done. And I think it came out pretty darn nice. So I'm going to determine where I'm going to hang it out front, and then I will show you a picture of the finished piece in its place. So let me show you what it looks like from the front. So as you approach my home, this is what you see. See? Nice color contrast. The gold is glinting in the sun on the ribbon there, the metallic parts. And the fronds are blowing ever so sweetly in the wind. And that's what we have. So that is my idea of a holiday wreath for a tropical location like ours here in Florida. And as you can see, it works with the front entrance of my home. So I hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial. And when you go about making your holiday decor, you'll think about some of the things that I did. And as always, if you liked what I showed you today and liked what I did, please subscribe, please give me a thumbs up, please comment, tell your friends, watch more of my videos, and just enjoy. So that is about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope everyone has a wonderful and happy holiday. Next Saturday is going to be Christmas Day, so I will not probably be posting on that day. So I hope everyone has a fantastic time, but I will resume the following week, which is actually New Year's Day. So talk to you guys soon, and have a good one. Bye for now. If you haven't seen our previous videos, click on the links and watch away. Please share, like, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel. We'll do our best to keep you entertained and coming back for more. Bye for now.